I'm waiting for them to come through.
Yep, we are live. It'll take a minute. And while Karyn is being quiet, I'm going to do some introductions. Okay, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Tam, and Tam I am. And today is going to be a very, very interesting podcast. And today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. And I am artist and author and astrologer and doer of life with my friend here, Karyn Chabot. And I want to introduce you to a master cardologist, astrologer, Ayurvedic practitioner, amazing human being, part mermaid, part just glorious human being. Karyn Chabot is somebody that if you're following me, you want to know Karyn. Karyn, you want to say hi to my crowd?
Hi, I'm really happy to be here, and I'm really in love with Tam. She's the best ever. She's really one of my best friends, and it's such an honor to have someone that speaks my language and that is, on the same page with me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for letting me come in.
I love it. I'm so honored that you're here today. Karyn has a lot on her plate. And the fact that she took time today to do this with me, I'm going to manage our time together really well so that we keep her for just 60 minutes today. And I hope you'll stay because we're going to talk about, first of all, the cards, the codes, the planets. So astrology and cardology live together and work together. And Karyn has been studying cardology for 30 years.
Probably, yeah, since 1998, dabbled, and then 2003, I dove in.
And when she says dive in, she means it because oh boy, why don't we get into it, Karyn, right now? We have so much to cover. We're going to talk a little bit about what is cardology, how do you use it, how do you apply it. Then we're going to get into this topic that I am so curious about, and that is the birthday of the United States of America and some of its leaders and what we might expect over the summer. Does that sound good, Karyn?
Sure.
Okay. Awesome. And what's really cool about Karyn, I'm sure she tells this to all of her clients, is that yes, she's brilliant right here in the frontal lobe, but she also channels. Do you want to talk about who might be with you today while you're channeling?
I work with the Blue Sapphire Collective, which is a collective of star beings from the sixth dimension. It's where I'm from. My higher self is from. And Tam is one of my neighbors from the purple.
Yeah, the violets. Yay.
Yay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Karyn is quite a channel. Okay, we're going to get into it by starting with, for people who don't understand, and by the way, before I do that, I do want to say Karyn's information is at 52starcodes.org. 52starcodes with an s.org. Please go ahead and sign up for her newsletter. You'll get a drip campaign to help you really learn and understand the cards. But the first question I'm actually going to ask Karyn is about these cards. Give us a little snippet of the history of the deck of 52 cards.
Well, the stack of 52 cards is unbounded, right? So it's not a binded, tight book or even a normal shape or size, which is symbolic of how humans are created. We are created as unbounded beings, infinite in our abilities, and we're multidimensional. These cards are actually ancient galactic technology that were developed by very high dimensional beings that are from unconditional love, who created it as a navigation tool, as a cosmological clock for other beings in lower frequencies so that they could make more informed daily decisions. However, the deck wasn't meant for us to have at the turn, of the Kali Yuga when it began, we received the deck from beings that were not so nice, that did not have good intentions, and we really aren't supposed to be using this knowledge, that we're not supposed to be given such knowledge until we were ready, because it becomes dangerous, because its power was too big, and it created war, and it caused the kings and the parliaments and powers that be to feel threatened by its power. So it was given in a way to sort of is entertainment by these unfriendly ETs, to sort of watch what humans would do with this power and what would happen. And yes, there was bloodshed, there was persecution. So we hid the deck. Tam and I were probably one of them in another incarnation. And we hid the deck so we wouldn't have to throw it away or burn it. And we decided to use it for a game and, go fish, war, bridge. And basically it stayed alive, but hidden in plain sight, because it's truly a sacred oracle. It's a God clock. It is about the time on Earth. It is specific with time, and there are codes, numerical codes behind every card, and there's an order for the suits.
Perfect. That's exactly where I wanted to go. So what I take from that was, I like to think of it, I love the language. It's kind of like a clock, a sacred clock, because we can, from using this deck of cards in very specific ways, which you're going to talk about, we can figure out timing. I've been able to figure out personality traits, skills and talents to some degree, soul work, karmic work, and timing. Yeah. Okay.
Timing it's one of the best oracles, divination systems to get the time very accurate. It's about a 90% accuracy rate.
Remarkable. Let's talk briefly about cards versus codes. So when we say the deck of cards, the 52 cards that we all know and love, and then we have star codes. There's a process for figuring out what each code is for each card. Please explain that.
It's really simple. It's the Ace of Hearts is the very first card. It's kind of like spring beginning, and it's a 1. And then the 2 of Hearts is 2. The 3 of Hearts is 3. And then we finish the heart suit, which is number 13, King of Hearts. Then we move into the club suit, and we have the Ace of Clubs, which is 14, moving all the way up to the King of Clubs, number 26. The 26th card in the deck is the King of Clubs, moving through the diamond suit. The King of Diamonds is the 39th card in the deck. Moving through the spade suit, the King of Spades is the 52nd card in the deck.
Perfect. That was the most succinct I've ever heard about those codes. That's perfect. So every card has a numerical number attached to it. And I instantly went to the codes of who I am, but before, and you, and I want to kind of talk about how that relates to personality and what we're doing here today. But before that, let's talk about the pips, the meaning of the icons on each card. Many people don't know what a pip is. Let's talk about the pips and their general meanings for each one.
Okay, so the pips are basically sacred geometry, and their shapes are symbolic, and the amount of the pips and the way they are directionally positioned, some are reversed and some are straight up, is significant. And the pips are literally the suits. They're the little tiny suits on the cards. And you'd think they would all be right side up, and just if there's 3 of diamonds, you'd have 3 diamonds. And yes, you do, because the diamonds are one suit that does not invert. However, the hearts and the spades, they do invert. And the hearts go upside down. And when they do, they become spades, literally, if you think about the shape of a heart. And also the clubs go upside down. So we have right side up clubs and inverted clubs. And the inversions matter. The ones that are right side up matter. That way we can look at the card in a multi-dimensional way, where we get information by, well, how many of those pips are right side up? That number, even if it's, say it's a 9, And so I'm looking at the 9 right now, 9 of clubs. There are 5 clubs, the pips, that are right side up, but there are 4 upside down. And how we would interpret that is that the 5 of clubs is present within the 9 of clubs. The meaning of the 5 of clubs, which is the card of the eclipse, the 18th card in the deck. And all eclipses happen in cycles of 18. And this is according to NASA. Now, we have the 4 pips inverted, which tells us the 4 of clubs is involved. And the 4 of clubs is mental power. And that means the mental power here, not so much. It gets diminished. You can put the story together. We have an eclipse. We have mental power diminished. And then we have the 9 of clubs. And all of that becomes a story. And we the dots and we apply it to the planetary transits, and the whole thing becomes a fully painted picture of what the meaning of the whole thing is for a one person or for the collective.
So now we know what the pips are. They're the sacred geometry of the cards, and each suit, if you will, has some kind of meaning behind it. Now, I'm regurgitating all of this in front of our audience because I'm a student of Karyn, and I very much want to understand Cardology more. So the more I say it out loud, the smarter I become. The heart suit, as I understand it, is about emotions and feelings.
True. Yes, it's the emotional body. And it's not always about love, because the emotion of sorrow and grief live in the heart too.
Absolutely. And then we have the clubs, which is about communication. And what else? What have I missed?
The clubs represent cerebral fire and fire in general. And the season of the clubs is summer because it's hot. And its dosha is pitta. If you know Ayurveda, its dosha is pitta, and the clubs is kapha, which is water and earth combined make mud, which is why it's the spring season, mud season. And then we move into the summer with the fire element, and what we digest cerebrally takes fire. So the fire in our minds are how we digest thoughts and process mentality. So we those people who are all clubs, where they have their 3 primary layers as clubs, you have a diamond in you.
I know.
Yeah. They're very intellectual. They're masters of intuition and scholarly. And they may not perceive the world through the lenses of somebody who might be all hearts, but that's okay. Like Tam is an editor. She is very organized. She's she can be overly, we can have an imbalance sometimes. Those people who have too many hearts are just way too emotional, and those who have too many clubs can be not, maybe emotionally vacant. So the balance is important. So that's why we need to understand what each of the suits represent. But you have it down regarding intellectual and intuitive mastery.
Okay, I want to remember the word cerebral when I think of clubs. That's good. The next one would be diamonds, and I'm thinking about money and what we value.
Yeah, so diamonds represent the time in our life where we have accumulated wealth because we went to school, clubs, scholar, cerebral intellect, and we learned. And then we apply what we learned and we serve the world. Now we're in midlife, right? We're not in, teenage season. We're not in the spring season as babies. We're growing up, and we have a bank account where we accumulate the diamonds. And the diamonds represent the earth as well. The shape of the diamond is the shape of the earth. It has 4 sides, and we have 4 petals in the root chakra, which is what connects us to the earth. And the diamonds are all about values and money.
That was really interesting. So now I'm watching the story unfold. I mean, I've heard you say this before. I mean, we've known each other for a while now. I've heard you say this before, but I've heard the story differently. So thank you for that. The next one is spades. And I'm thinking about health and spiritual life.
Yeah, so spades are the winter of our lives. They represent all the doshas, actually, and mostly vata, which is ether and air. And the diamonds also represent more vata, which is ether and air principles. And since the spades are the winter of our lives, we've accumulated wisdom.
Wisdom.
The wise sage is what Saturn represents, and the planet connected to Saturn is, spades is Saturn. Saturn is the old man, the old lady that, the guru under the bonsai tree, that has the wisdom. And it's the embodiment of all the suits. And it is an upside down heart. Notice that. So it represents all the heartbreak that we have experienced as humans, where our hearts go upside down and turn blackened. And we are here to experience the fullness of life, not just joy and bliss. We come here to get cracked open because the light comes through the cracks. And we have to experience the sorrow. So that's why in the end, the old wise woman can speak from experience, not a book.
Okay. Wow. I see where I got the word wrong. I said spirit, but really it's more about wisdom, the wisdom you've collected for having been through your journey. That's the rest of the story, so to speak. Okay. I think we have a really good grip on the cards now. And I think the next thing I want to move into or move toward would be the fact that every human on earth has cards that represent them. They have many cards that represent them, but there are three really, really important cards that we should mention that will help as we get into the portion of talking about the birthday of the United States. So the three cards that I believe we should discuss are probably the birth card that represents each individual, that person's internal card, and then probably the decanate, right? We'll
Correct.
include that today.
Yes. So we have many cards, actually. We have a signature of cards that I developed from formulas that are specific to a birthday. But the main and primary three cards that best describe a human, and we're not limited to three because we are such infinite, unbounded beings, but these three cards are very significant in helping us understand who we are and how we're wired and what our patterns are and our gifts. So, and of course, our lessons. So the birth card is calculated by a formula, a very specific formula. It's not a willy-nilly assigned to the 365-day calendar where someone just closed their eyes and said, January 1st will be the king of spades. And then they went on like this with this, no. Each day is assigned a card based on a very specific formula, which I can share with you, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. If you want to just trust me, this is a formulated science, the way these birth cards are assigned to each card based on the calendar year. And then the internal card is the part of ourselves that some people share with the world, depending on their decanate, or some people keep it private and they only let those that they love in. Then the decanate card is really, I'll say this, there are decan means 10 in Latin, right? So we have 30 degrees in each house, and really 29, but say 30 so we can break it up into three even tens, 3 tens. So if you were born when the sun was in the first decanate, that means the degree will be somewhere, your sun will be from 1 to 10, we'll say 9. Then your decanate will match your internal, and then that can tell me that your decanate governing your dharma, your life purpose, the essence of who you are. It's more like the soul, the aroma of the rose and not the rose. And that person who has a decanate within the first 10 will be more fluid with their internal card. It will be identical to their decanate. And if you get a separate decanate, then that means your son was born, was at the degree at least 10 and onward when you were born. Yes.
So the decanate, how I think of the decanate card is it's sort of like a supportive framework for who you are in this lifetime, kind of like guardrails.
It is kind of like that. It's almost like if you think of a marionette, it's,
Oh,
you know,
Marion.
yeah, the part that holds, that's controlling all the pieces, is the decanate, and then the arms and the legs, and the being moves according to this, almost like the oversoul.
Oh, the oversoul. Yes. Okay. I understand that. So just so people get a general idea of how this might play out, we're going to use my birthday. We're going to, so people can see it. The people who are watching understand me and this. So my birthday is September 22nd. Karyn, go ahead. Let's do my three.
So your external card, which is also known as birth card or the sun card, is the two of clubs, right? So the two of clubs, the number two, we use numerology. We understand that means there's going to be a lot of partnership, a lot of dynamic where she doesn't really enjoy being by herself, maybe, to some degree, but she's a partner kind of girl. She likes to be with another person. And
Collaborate.
yeah, she's a collaborator, and it's more fun for her that way. And that's okay. She's wired that way. Now, but well, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole about your reciprocal birthday, but your internal card is the Jack of Diamonds, if I remember, right?
King of Clubs.
King of Clubs. Okay, so the Jack of Diamonds is your decanate?
Yeah.
Okay, the King of Clubs, this is the most intuitive card in the deck besides the Queen of Clubs. And the King of Clubs is mastery of the intellect, and they are usually professors. They are scholars. They love to read, and they love to learn, and they're highly sensitive, and they actually make the greatest parents. For some reason, they are protectors of children, and they are providers. And when I meet a King of Clubs parent, I don't need to know, by someone else. If someone gossips and they say they're not a good parent, I don't believe it for a minute, because that King of Clubs person is going to do the best job they can for their children. They are just wired that way. And then the decanate ruling card is the Jack of Diamonds, which gives you that diamond that you were looking for, gives you the ability to master financial creativity, to organize your money. Doesn't mean you're loaded, but it means when you get money, you know how to organize it, what to do with it.
Awesome. That was a synopsis of how you take your birth card, code, and card itself and apply the meanings behind the pip or suit and the number numerologically. And these formulate personality traits, skills, and all of that. So Cardology brings everything together. And I just want to say this to my audience really loud and really clear. Since I've learned astrology, it took my astrology to the next level. What I have discovered is that cardology is a quantum science, and the accuracy is a little bit mind-boggling. I can check my cards for the week or the day or the month, and because I'm so new at this, I don't always either remember or check it on time, but I can always go back and go, oh my God, that six of spades just showed up on the day that it was said it would show up, because I can map out my cards for the entire month and know by looking at the cards, oh, it's a six of clubs day. I might be talking with Karyn Chabot today, right? She's my six of clubs girl and my four of hearts girl. You can literally tell who or what might show up in your life based on the cards. It's powerful beyond words. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways to look at these cards. There's a global transit that we must consider every day. There's the global card of the day. For example, anyone born on this day, I don't know what is this day. It's the 30th of June. I forget what the global transit is today. Do you remember?
I have it right
here memorized every day. I'd like to be like her. I haven't.
Today's the 30th. It's a King of Hearts.
Oh, okay. It's the King of Hearts Day. I'm going to take your word for it. I haven't been paying attention to the global transits recently, but that is a factor to consider. So when you're trying to figure out what's the energy of this day, we can't just look at your daily transit card based on your birthday. We have to also consider the global card today. So the global card, if you say June 30th is the King of Hearts, then this day is a day where we can easily master our emotional bodies, because the King is here. And he is the master of the heart, right? Master of the emotional body. And now we look at our daily transits based on our birthday. So this isn't like a tarot where you just willy-nilly throw out cards.
Catch the word transits, everybody who's familiar with astrology. She's using the word transits, which means these cards are kind of moving.
There is a procession that is very patterned and mathematical. So once we log in a birthday, that birthday, the way the system in the software is configured is that it will know based on 90 quadrations. The system is based on 45 plus 45. And these quadrations activate when we put a birthday in and we go to the exact age of the quadration that is relevant to the day that you were born on and relevant to the current day. We get this population of cards that can be repeated. So if I want to know my card of the day in transit today, as well as the global card today, say in 10 years from now, I could look back on June 30th, 2026, and it would be identical. It would be the directory would be the global directory card is going to be King of Hearts. That's never going to change. Every year it's the same. June 30th, King of Hearts. And then on that day for Tam, and she put her name and her birthday into the software, whatever her card is today, vertical and direct, we get two, we get more than that, but primary two vertical and direct cards. They tell us the story of the day and the night. So those cards will be intact. They'll be the same exact cards when we look at it 10 years from now.
So again, for everybody who's moving from astrology toward cardology, it's like a cycle, no different than our planets move and they're ticking along in their circular pattern. The cards have their own rhythm and cycle and transit. So we have like 35 minutes left, and it's time for us to really bring in the juicy information. Karyn, I didn't prepare ahead of time. Are you going to need to share screen? Is that the right thing to do? Oh boy, I really hope that we can do this. We're going to start talking now. So we know that Karyn has a birth card, an internal card, a decanate, as do I, as do you, each of you who are watching this show. So this means that President Donald J. Trump has a birth card, an internal, a decanate. All the leaders, Joe Biden, J.D. Vance, Kevin Warsh, on and on and on. Everybody has these cards that sort of represent who they are. And we are able to tell who else they might be interacting with based on the spreads of the week or the month. And the United States of America, because it is its own being or entity, whatever you want to call it, it has a birth card, an internal card, a decanate. Am I right so far?
Yes.
Okay.
We can create a birth chart for anything. We can create a birth chart for the beginning of a business. Right. Or, beginning of anything. And beginning of our country was July 4th, 1776. So this chart that I'm going to show you is based on that moment. We don't need the time of day. We just need the day, the month, and the year to develop a chart. Shall I share?
If you can, if it'll let you share, please share, because I've put us small and the screen is big.
Yes, let me do that. Just see if it.
So what we're doing right now is start taking a peek at what does President Trump's chart look like. I'll have Karyn talk about his birth card, his internal card, as well as his decanate, and a few other characters. And we'll look at, because Karyn has already done a big basket of research. Here we go.
Can you see that?
Yep.
I don't.
So right now your screen is on my screen and we can see it. Can you click to your card layouts?
Yeah, I thought I did. Let's see if I can.
Up at the top, your URL, your where your tabs are.
I'm going to stop the screen share and start over. Okay, so I'm.
Yeah, maybe open your open the tab with the cards in it, maybe.
Okay, so I'm just going to share screen and see what happens, because I tried to share just the cards, but you're going to end up seeing I'm going to just spread this out so I don't overwhelm you with my entire background, because I wasn't able to isolate this software program. I tried to isolate it like you can do in Zoom, but this is not an easy isolation. So it's going to have to be, hold on a second. If I can just grab the corner and stretch it out. My mouse doesn't want to grab it at the moment, unfortunately. Well, since I can't spread it out because I can't grab the corner, we're just going to have to deal with my background. Okay, share screen. Allow to share screen. Can you see that now?
Yeah, it hasn't. It's telling me you haven't asked yet to do it. Whatever you did last time worked. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Okay, let me add you to the stage.
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Now, can you click to your card tab or your software? At the top. Yep, way up, whichever one is your software. Way up at the top at the URL bar. Yep. Can you see your software?
This is my software I clicked on.
That's what we're seeing, all those cards. What she's showing right now as she's kind of working things out, that is what a weekly spread looks like with the cards. This would be equivalent to looking at your astrology daily. And
I hope I did that right. Can you see the USA?
I can.
249 years old. Okay.
I can. It's beautiful.
Okay, I didn't know how that was magical, how that happened. I didn't think I was successful at that. So the primary card for the United States is the Jack of Diamonds, although there is a flavor of the King of Diamonds, because I believe the Constitution was thought about and cognized, initiated on July 2nd. So you know how you manifest things with your thoughts first. If you want to build a fence, you start visualizing your yard with a fence in it. You see the fence in your mind, and then you build the fence. So that's what happened on July 2nd. The actual Constitution was, they had it in their minds. It was fully erected in thought form. So that does carry weight. And that was the King of Diamonds Day, which is, a remarkable card, and not surprising that our country would carry just a subtle flavor of that. But the actual day it was signed is the day we're going to use. It carries the most weight, July 4th, with the Jack of Diamonds, which is pretty close to the King of Diamonds. So I did give it a 6 of Spades declinate ruling card, but really there's other schools of thought that say it's a King of Clubs, and there may be some aspects of that, but I'm pretty sure it has the 6 of Spades and even a 2 of Spades, because the 6 of Spades and the 2 of Spades live in the Earth template in the Neptune row in what I call a portal. And I call it a blue portal, just to be clear about it, because there's 2 portals. One's a black and one's a blue. But this portal is more about altered states, imbalances, unfair exchanges of energy, delusions, addictions, and drugs. So it wouldn't surprise me that it would be a 2-6 in the United States, because we have a huge drug cartel situation in our country, and we have big pharma that that's taken over, and so drugs abound in this country. We've made a lot of our money through it. So that's why the 6-2 is there. And I didn't just make that up. I did a mathematical formulation to find it. But in this system, I can't configure it to have the 2 of Spades in there, because it doesn't allow for it. But we can look at the 6 of Spades and the Jack of Diamonds, and those are accurate. What would you like me to share? Yeah. I could go a million places here.
So, all right. So we know. Let's look at. Do you have Donald Trump's chart?
Yes. Here he is. I'm wondering if you can see this. I have no idea how you were able to see.
I can see it. Yep. You're making it bigger. It looks great.
Great. All right. Yes, he was born on a 3 of Diamonds day, and
so
his
3 of Diamonds for us. Tell us.
Oh, well, the 3 of Diamonds is financial creativity on the upside. On the downside, it's poverty consciousness. But he has chosen the upside. He literally wrote a book titled Financial Creativity, or at least those words were in the title. And he wasn't a politician. before he was president. He actually was a businessman, a man of finance, and wealthy. And he just it was strange the way that happened. The most presidents were politicians first. So this Three of Diamonds man could have chosen poverty and made no money and wasted his creativity out of worry, because worry does that. Or he could have stepped into the high side of it, which he did. And I think he even went into the exaggerated version of the Three of Diamonds, which is the King of Diamonds. We all have an exaggerated version of ourselves, and it's not our authentic selves. But sometimes in life, we're presented situations and circumstances beyond our control where we need to step into our exalted selves. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, and sometimes it's just, what we have to do. And we just get on with it. And so I know he's expressing as a King of Diamonds many times. And the king is the leader. King is president. King is CEO. So he would be showing up as the King of Diamonds and perceived as such in many different charts. If we looked at other countries and their leaders, they would probably perceive Donald Trump as King of Diamonds as well as Three of Diamonds. So yes, he's very good that way with money.
What does that Ace of Spades do for him?
His internal card is the Ace of Spades, which is really about secret societies and mysteries, and about the mystical wisdom between death and birth, because it is a card of death. You see the heart there? It's not so juicy and red, is it? It went dried up and black and turned upside down. So it's basically an ace, which is a beginning, but it's the beginning of a new cycle, which could be heralded in by death of something. Or it could be, I've seen it happen, that it is a literal birth of something. I've even seen babies born under this Ace of Spades, but the babies were unexpected, and it was a lot of work, and single mothers, and Saturn came in and was more oppressive than it should have been, but it still marks the birth of a baby with just an upside down heart. So he has some secrets, and he likes his privacy, and he is very transformational because he has the Ace of Spades, which is the card of transformation. It's what happens between life and death. It's one big transformation. So this man has the ability innately, and he's wired for, to transform the world, transform whatever he puts his attention on.
And that seems to be what he is trying to do, for sure. That is not rocket science to sort through. I could say a lot about that, but what I'd like to do next is, oh boy, I lost my train of thought. Hold on one second. I wanted to go to, I have been looking at lately between you and it was actually online as well. There's some information that indicates that George Washington and President Trump have a lot of similarities. Do you have anything on that?
I do. So I believe that they are twin souls and fractals of each other, and bookending the country, the bookends of the country. And they're both born into the Three of Diamonds, Four of Clubs axes. And that's a more advanced theory that I don't want to lose your audience with, but they both embody the Nine of Spades and the Ace of Spades. So I'm showing you decade ruling card of Donald Trump, Nine of Clubs. He's a black nine, as is decade, and so was George Washington. He had a Nine of Spades and an Ace of Spades. So the black nines form a black nine stargate, which is like an eclipse in a way. They're thresholds in time where the veil is thin and otherworldly experiences can come through almost in a soul contract way. So these two souls had the wiring, had the ability to actually bookend, begin something and end something, because we know that beginnings and endings are the same, and that there's just one big circle of life, and life and time is really circular. So they came in to close out and begin something that was really powerful, and our country has been very powerful. So Trump is here to actually end the way we are doing finances or running finances and reshaping the financial system right now. There's a reset happening, and it will happen during the United States rebirth window, which happens as an overlap over the eclipse of August 12th.
We're going to talk about that next. Yes.
Yes. So that is going to be an interesting reshaping of money and how we see it and values. There'll be a lot coming out about nefarious activities. We're moving into a new age. So not
Karyn,
only, yes.
Before you go further, is there a card spread you want to start going right into that? I would love to go into that discussion. And while she's looking for that, let me recap what I just heard.
I'm not sure what. Tell me what spread you want.
I don't know, like when you were doing your research, what you're talking about, the rebirths. So I was going to ask you to talk about rebirth zones, because this is going to trigger what's going to start our process of new currency, et cetera, et cetera. So whatever you need to bring up to support these discussions, the rebirth zones.
Yeah.
So she's gonna bring that up, and I want to recap what she said, that like George Washington comes in and births our country and helps us set up guardrails. He was one of the framers, right? He framed our country. And later, 250 years later, we have Donald Trump as our president with matching energetic signatures, which is how I want to say it, matching energetic signatures. And he's going to come in and he's going to be the second bookend. And he's going to help us to sort of tidy up, wrap up the conundrum that has been the 250 years of the United States of America. Karyn, will you please explain to everyone about a rebirth zone? They're so important.
Yes. So before I do, I just want to back up, because a lot of people have divisional thinking, and they tend to try to label things as good or bad. And I'm giving you the Cardology, which is unity based. It's a unity consciousness where we are looking at soul, and there is no good or bad soul. Soul is God. Soul is the light. So we're looking at Donald Trump and George Washington, not putting them on a pedestal, not saying that they're so great. There's nothing here about good or bad. This is the examination and the exploration of soul and of contracts that have been written for humanity using these two souls that are twin souls. And they have come in to bookend whether they did a good job or a bad job. This isn't the discussion at all. I don't really even care about politics and the whole all getting into, all the good and bad and politics of democracy versus Republicans. I'm not interested in any of it. So what I'd like to say is that we're moving into the Sat Yuga, Sat meaning truth and Yuga meaning cycle. And in order to get into the Sat Yuga, we must have truths revealed. We must have a soul that can take us there, because not just any old soul is going to be able to transform the financial system and prepare humanity for the Sat Yuga. Okay, so now I'm going to go into rebirth zones. We are born on a day. As soon as we are born on that day, we are given 44 weeks, really 45 weeks, but 44 weeks if we consider the spirit spread. So you can see that the spiritual spread is very coherent, and that's where we're from. We are coherent light beings, infinite, unbounded beings of greatness. And we've just forgotten. We drank the amnesia when we came in, and we forgot. So we're here to relearn and remember how amazing we are. So the United States is an entity in and of itself, and it was given 44 weeks. On August 6th, the rollout of the 44 weeks since July 4th, 1776, it has been rolling out in its own time, almost like if you think of the black keys on the piano and the white keys, they have their own time and their own sound. So these rollouts happen on black keys, for example. While the white keys are still going along, we have these rollouts that all of us experience every approximate 44 weeks. Well, I'll say precisely 44 weeks from the day of our birth. The first rebirth cycle is the 44th week, where we go through a coherent spread that looks like a straight flush. You can see it here. This is United States, and we have the 10 of diamonds and the moon, queen of diamonds, king of diamonds, ace of diamonds, 2 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, 4. This does not happen any other time except during
we're looking spades, is that correct?
Yeah, so this is the Jack of Diamonds, right?
Oh,
And it went into the 10 of Diamonds. So we took the birth card because the day we're born, depending on the frequency or card and code that we embody, this day on the Constitution signature day was a Jack of Diamonds. So we have to follow the suit. We follow the frequency. Jack of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds. Well, actually, the moon goes backwards. So the moon is on the other side of the Jack, just so you understand this. This is the Sun card, the Jack of Diamonds, and the moon should be on the other side. But the way that he configured this software is just positional. Maybe you could call it a defect, or the way he sees it. Anyways, it's a Jack of Diamonds. Skip over the 10 if you want, but the moon is very significant. It should be over here on the left. Queen of Diamonds, King of Diamonds, Ace of Diamonds is the next card in order. This is card 31. I'm sorry, 39, 40, 41, Two of Spades, 42.
Excuse me for a minute, because you're pointing to an ace of spades and you're saying diamonds.
Did I say Ace of Diamonds?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was my fault. Ace of Spades, King of Diamonds. Yes, I'm trying to get it all in for you because it's a lot to do.
I just want to make sure it's spades. Okay.
I feel rushed. So I'm trying to calm down and we have to go with the flow of whatever we can get in, we can get in if we can't finish all of it. So the King of Diamonds is number 39, the 39th card in the deck. Ace of Spades is the 40th card in the deck. Two of Spades is the 41st card in the deck. Three of Spades is the 42nd. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you see, if I flipped around on this with you, and I don't want to bore you with it, but just have to trust me. If I flipped around, we looked at all the other weeks in the year, they're not going to have this cohesion. This is a straight flush. Happens once every 45 weeks. Now, this is the time where we are going through a rebirth of letting something go. We are spiritually and emotionally aware that there's something that doesn't serve us anymore. And usually that shows up in the long range cards. What is that thing that we're letting go of? It's here, 7 of Spades, 8 of Hearts. And if we go to the planetary ruling, it's the Ace of Spades as well. So that's the new beginning and the end. So it is the card of transformation. So 7 of Spades, it may even be a person that we don't know about. I'm not familiar with all the people that you know of, Tam. It could be somebody who was running the treasury and no longer there. It could be values. It could be an experience. And the 7 of Spades is one of the most spiritual cards in the deck. So it's asking the United States to step into what's real, not what's visceral, not what sparkles, not what's superficial, but go into the reality of who we are as a country, the true spirit of United States. That is what's being rebirthed. So then we go into the next week, which is the 44th week of integration. So this, if you think about being born, 44 weeks before we actually incarnate, we're considering our life path. We're mapping out our blueprint with our spirit family and God himself or herself. And we then are born into the 45th week. Okay, then we say, okay, let's look at this. Let's integrate what we mapped out. And here's the integration. So we look at what did replace, what did get lost, what did get dismissed, so that we can become new again. 9 of Diamonds, the long range card. This is 9 of Diamonds, meaning end, 9 diamonds, money and values. So end of the way we see money, the way we work with money, and the way we value things. So maybe we'll be going into an ecosystem as opposed to an ego system. Maybe we'll have a reset. I know we're going to have a chipped currency, and that they're not going to be honest with us about that. But there will be dollar bills that are coming out that are chipped so they can track us, and that will be an automatic conversion in your bank. So you might want to save your old dollar bills and save your pennies, especially the copper pennies, because they'll soon be obsolete. So, and people might, some people might like this, and some people might rebel because change is difficult. And the reason they're doing this is they want to control how much people are spending and who's evading their taxes. And it just gives the government more control over us. And, that to me isn't something I want to celebrate about, but it is the very beginning of the financial reset. More will come as well. Okay, so as we continue on, the 10 of spades is the other long range card, and that says work. That says success with lots of people, groups of people collaborating, and that if we all can come together, 10 means as many as there is possible. It's the hugest group in the card, it's the largest number. So when we come together as a community, we choose each other as opposed to choosing government standards. We could choose to live in communities of like homesteads where we can live off the grid and work with each other. That's a possibility. That's going to become a theme during this time frame. And we just are in the middle of the eclipse season. This is the August 13th date that this begins. On August 12th was the actual solar eclipse, a full solar eclipse. And solar is the sun. Sun governs the government. So our government is up for a massive transformation. I hope that answered your question.
It does. And as you talk about I was able to follow it, but luckily I've been also following your work for a while now. I'm sure the audience might have questions. This is a good time to remind everybody, 52starcodes.org. You can reach out to Karyn for full reading for yourself. Gosh, she does all kinds of different readings and coaching and wonderful things. You can also reach out to me with any questions you might have personally, and I'll do the best I can to redirect you to the right resource. I heard, Karyn, about the solar eclipse. So first of all, can you remind me, remind the audience, August 6th is the beginning of the United States spiritual rebirth. Is that correct? Okay,
Yes.
so everybody, you want to mark your calendar, August 6th through 13th.
It's a 2-week span, so it ends on the 19th, and it overlaps the
spiritual
eclipse.
part, the spiritual piece, the more internal piece is 6 through 13?
6 through 12. And the 13th of August begins the integration. And we all have this every year. And if we ignore it, a lot of us end up getting sick. It's a wake-up call. And if we just push through it, then our bodies will usually contract some sort of a virus or slow us down, or we'll get into an accident or something. But it's time to slow down. This is a time to go gently, and a time to ask yourself, how can I reach my highest potential? What needs to go? How do I rebirth this in the most graceful way and step into the new me? It's an opportunity for growth.
Oh, it sure is an opportunity for growth. And when I went through my rebirth season back in May, it was actually really, really remarkable what I was going through personally. And then when I looked back and looked at all the cards, I was really able to track it. Journaling is a really sort of a key tool that you want to use when you're going through this process of learning the cards. I want to go back to it. With astrology, when you do a solar return, you set the software to match your birth date, and it tells the story of the year ahead. Do we do the same in Cardology, like a solar return? And if so, what are you seeing for the year ahead for the United States of America?
I haven't done a solar return on our country in the Vedic astrology chart, which would be fun.
Through Cardology. I'm actually wondering through Cardology. Is that a possibility or no?
No.
Okay. Because, the other thing would be that each individual and each entity has a life path. Are we able to look at the life path of the United States of America?
Yeah, it's right here. So it began on July 4th, 1776. And it's Mercury card. This is the glyph for Mercury, is the 4 of hearts. And the 5 of diamonds is its vertical, which gives us the sort of the adjective and description of the direct. So the direct card holds the most weight, vertical, and it also unfolds in the evenings. Believe it or not, this is day and night, as well as it is descriptive of the direct. So this is actually, when the 4s and 5s come together, it's very transformational. It's change bringing, mercurial, because it is a 4 and a 5, and we're given 45 weeks. And this is this is Cardology. It's based on the number 45. So it's interesting. Our United States was actually given a 4 and a 5 on its Mercury first day of birth, and then 4 of diamonds in Venus. And I mean, you can see all that. I won't bore you with the details, but there is a 6 of spades in the black hole here, which is interesting in Uranus. And that 6 of spades is our country internal card. So that means our country has a lot of internal secrets. Black holes represent hidden agendas, sometimes not so good, sometimes very fated, destined situations where the dark must dance with the light first. And that's in Uranus. So unexpected things, the occult, all the meanings of Uranus. If you're an astrologer, you can apply that. And I mean, I could spend an hour analyzing the life spread of this birth chart for United States, but I don't want to bore you all. You can see it's almost identical to what I just showed you in the week of the eclipse in 2006, because we're in 1776 right now. But if I take you back to 2026, the week of the August 12th eclipse, this is repeating. This is the exact mirror minus the long range. Those are the only two that change, and some of the semi-fixed cards, or 2 semi-fixed cards, those might flip. So basically, this is the birth chart of the United States, birth path, you can call it, but it's like, if you're an astrologer, a chart. And you can get as much information possible of where are the afflictions, where are the debilitations, where are the exaltations, what's the condition of this chart. You can read it carefully by looking at the planets and understanding the nature of the cards and where they fit in the Earth template, and then you can develop a story.
And you have just told quite a story. We have about 5 minutes left, so I kind of want to wrap it up, so to honor your timeline and my audience's timeline. I think, gee whiz, I should have asked this. When the United States has its birthday on July 4th, which planet will it be under? Mercury? Is this what you're saying? Or is it?
Its birth, when it has its rebirth, you mean?
Yeah. No, it's birthday, July 4th.
I don't know. I don't think that says it. Oh, it says Friday. Well, I'll have to go back to that. Hold on.
I think I'm wondering if we're in a Mercury season for the United States, or are we in a Uranus season for the United States? That's what I'm trying to sort through.
It's not giving me, it's not letting me get the
period. Yeah.
It doesn't give me the planet of the day because it's too far away. Okay. 233 years. It's not configured to do it.
Okay, I don't blame it. What I'd like everybody, all my audience members, to really sit with is that your birthday has a quantum energetic signature, and your blueprint is remarkably clear through Cardology. Astrology, yes, we know the planets have a plan, and hopefully we can work within it. But if you really want to bring it in, tighten up your view of what might play out day by day, or when to do X, Y, Z. If you have timing questions, Cardology is a really great way. Important decision to make, and you need information about all the players involved, birth dates. You bring that information to Karyn. She'll look at your chart. I'm just going to say the realtor's chart, the seller's chart, the buyer's chart, the banker's chart, and she can look. Property would be X, Y. And this is what the realtor might do, and she can literally do all of that. And it's through these cards, this technology, galactic technology, gifted to us. Even if nefariously, many moons ago. Karyn, do you have closing thoughts? Do you want to send them specifically anywhere other than 52starcodes.org?
No, that would sum it up. They can explore my website, and my book actually might be, if you're interested to learn. I can give you a reading. That's one thing. I've already started the school. There it is. Thank you, Tam. And so I started the school last week. It might not be too late if you listen to the recording, but it would be. We're getting close to hard for me to accept any more new students. But if you really are passionate to learn, then read the book or book a reading with me, or both.
Or both. And do that, and you will be as shocked as I am about the information that comes through the cards. I'm super excited about the birthday of the United States of America. Like, I am about as patriotic as the day is long, and probably more. And so getting to understand some of the things that might happen, really understanding the George Washington, Donald Trump connection. I mean, I could do this once a week and pick your brain for hours about Kevin Warsh at the Fed, and Scott Bessent at the Treasury. And there's so many questions I have. And I know that we have another podcast coming up next week, and we have like a knock your socks off presentation that's going to blow every astrologer's mind. We'll save that for the next one. I'll drop clues about it on Facebook posts, but she has information that came to her a few weeks ago, and she has just been sitting on it. And we're going to make a public announcement that is huge about astrology and cardology. I can't even wait to do that. So thank you so very much for joining me today, Karyn.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It was totally an honor.
Ah, yay. Well,
Yeah.
I am, because you are who you are. You and I are one, and that's for you and the audience. Thank you all so very much, and we'll see you on the next call. Thank you for watching.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.